Live in three, two, one.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good
Blah, blah,
morning.
blah, blah. Morning.
Morning, Madam Ilham. Dr. Aizu.
Morning, Dr. Aizu. Morning, Dr. Aini.
Morning.
Morning to all of our students. Okay, so our lecture for today is chapter 2.0, Internet Technology, and this topic we just focus on subtopic 2.1, basic concept of network. Okay, for this topic, at the end of this lesson, a student should be able to explain the concept of network, explain types of communication device and transmission media used in a network, and lastly, describe the advantages and disadvantages of a network. First of all, every student has to describe or define what is a network. Network is a collection of computers and devices connected together via communication device and transmission media to share resources based on Shelley Cashman 2018, which is Shelley Cashman is our main textbook discovering computer. So for to define a network, make sure you mention we have two main points, which is the first point is a communication device and the second point is a transmission media. Okay, what is a computer network? Okay, refer to the slide. There is a basic how the computer network set up. Okay, which is we have a workstation, and all the workstation we connect to the switch, and from the switch we connect to the server, or from the switch go to the router, cable modem, and internet. So this is a basic how we connect all the devices in network form. Okay, next we go to the communication. We have two terms to describe the communication. The first is the process in which two or more computers or devices transfer data or instruction and information. And some communication involve cables and wires. So we have cabling or wirelessly to set up the network. Okay, figure 10.1 okay, show a simplified example of a communication system, which is some devices that serve as sending and receiving devices, such as a server for figure A, desktop for figure B, laptops for figure C, tablet for figure D, smartphone and headset for figure E, portable media for figure F, power lines, cable television, and others underground lines, microwave station, and satellite. Okay, this is a simplified example of communication system either through wire or wireless. Communication system. Okay, as we mentioned just now, each device has their own task, whether as a sending devices or receiving devices. So for sending devices, it initiate an instruction to transmit data, instruction or information. While receiving devices, information. And communication device is any type of hardware capable of transmitting data, instruction, and information that connect the sending device and receiving devices to a transmission media. Example of communication device is a modem, hub, switch, router, wireless access point, and network card. This is we call a device. Next, transmission media. Most of the students actually confuse to differentiate between communication device and transmission media. Okay, communication device is a device that we can hold, we can touch, we can see. But transmission media is consists of material or substance which is used to make the information or instruction travel from one devices to other devices. Okay, So make sure you clearly understand the differentiate between transmission media and communication device. Alright. Okay. I give an example. In our real life, a communication device such as a car and the highway is a transmission media. Okay, car is a transmission communication device. The highway, the road is a transmission media. How the data travel? And we have two types of transmission media. Okay, first is a wired, or we can call as a physical, and the second one is a wireless. Alright, so we proceed for physical transmission media or wired, okay, which is the physical transmission media use wire. Okay, for sure it's wired or physical, we must use a wire or cable or other tangible material to send communication signal. For example, we have a twisted pair cable, coaxial cable and fiber optic cable. Okay, so everyone have to differentiate between these three types of cable because these three types of cable have their own function and different usage. Okay, for wireless, okay, wireless is a transmission media sends communication signal through the air or space, and the sender and receiver are not connected by any electrical or optical, such as our smartphone. Okay, connected wirelessly. So here are a few examples of wireless transmission media: infrared, broadcast radio, cellular radio, microwave, and communication satellite. And each wireless transmission media also have their own function. Okay, so for communication device, I will pass to Dr. Aizu. Okay, Dr. Aizu.
Thank you very much, Madam Samila. Right. Okay,
All
now you
right.
have differentiate between the communication device as well as the communication media. Make it in simple words. Say for example, this is my first handphone, smartphone, and this one is my second. These are the devices. So to connect the two devices, we need the transmission media to connect between these two devices. That is the main difference between the communication device and transmission media mentioned by Madam Sarmila just now. So we look at the first communication device, which is modem. There are two types of modem. So the first one is digital modem. A modem, a digital modem or broadband modem is a communication device that sends and receives data and information to and from a digital line. There are three types of modem, which are cable modem, DSL modems, and SDN modems. Functionally, the same function, but different ways in communication. Okay, the first is cable modem. Send and receive digital data over the CATV network. The second one is DSL modem. Send digital data information from a computer to a DSL line and receive digital data and information from a DSL line. And ISDN modem send digital data and information from a computer to an ISDN line and receive digital data and information from an ISDN line. So there are three different wired modems: cable modem, DSL modem, and ISDN modem. If we talk about streaming, streaming use DSL modem. Okay, these are the diagram of cable modem. Cable modem always used by the TV company. If I'm not mistaken, there's no such company in Malaysia at the moment. If I'm not mistaken, this is the famous internet connection in USA. The second type of modems is the wireless modem. Some mobile users have a wireless modem that uses a mobile service provider's network to connect to the internet wirelessly from a computer or mobile device. Wireless modem, which have an external or built-in antenna, are available as USB adapters and other devices. Some smartphones also can function as a wireless modem, called a mobile hotspot, when tethered to a personal computer or mobile devices. This is the example of wireless modem. You can see wireless modem inserted in the laptop if the laptop don't have network connection, internet connection. Other example of wireless modem, if you look at your smartphone, there are built-in wireless modems. That's the easiest example of wireless modem that you can refer to. The next communication device is wireless access point. It's a central communication device that allows computers to transfer data wirelessly among themselves or to transfer data wirelessly to a wired network. Wireless access points have high quality internal or external antennas for optimal signals. For the back signal, some manufacturers suggest positioning the wireless access point at the highest possible location and using a device to strengthen your wireless signal. So the highest the level of access point you put, you locate the access point, the greater the coverage. Okay, next is routers. Routers is a commercial device that connects multiple computers or other routers together and transmit data to its correct destination on a network. Okay, you can see here, this is the routers in the middle. So the routers function is to connect all the devices around the routers. These are the devices, these are also the devices, but it connects all the other devices through the transmission media. Okay, this is the function of wireless routers, which is not connected by wired but wirelessly. Most of the modern equipment are wireless. Next communication device is network cards or network interface card (NIC). Network cards is a communication device that enables a computer or device that does not have built-in networking capability to access a network. The network card coordinates the transmission and receipt of data instruction and information to and from the computer or device containing the network card. So if your computer don't have internet connection, you should have network card to allow you to access to the internet. Uh, if you refer to the current computer, laptop, notebook, netbook, uh, most probably they all have the built-in network card. So you don't have to buy the external network cards. The next function device is hub and switch. Hub and switch is a device that provides a central point for cables in a network. Larger network typically use a hub, while a smaller network use a switch. So that's the difference between the term hub and switch. Some hubs and or switches include routers, means that the hub itself embedded with the routers. That is, the hub will switch receive data from many directions and then forward it to one or more destination. Okay, you look here. Okay, these are the sub and switches. I got two switches and 8 devices. So the hub and switch connected all the devices to ensure that all the devices can be connected to the internet. Okay, thank you. Next to Madam Noraini.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Dr. Aizu. Um, okay, now, okay, I want you to think, okay, how we send data to someone. Okay, data received by someone. Can you imagine how does the data move? Using what materials? How does it move from one place to another place? Okay, so now I will tell you about how the data move or travel, but I call it transmission media. As Madamila said before, transmission media is like a highway, how the data move from one place to another place, how the transport, the cars, we are using a cars or we are using LRT, whatever. Okay, okay, what is transmission media? Okay, referring to Discovering Computers 2018, transmission media consists of materials or substances capable of carrying one or more signals. So for transmission media, we have two types, or we call it categories, and there are is first physical transmission media, and second is wireless transmission media. Okay. Now, let's look at the first transmission media, which is physical transmission media, or sometimes we call it wired transmission media. For first example, physical transmission media is twisted pair cable. Okay, look at the picture. Okay, twisted pair cable consists of one or more twisted pair wires bundled together. Each twisted pair wire consists of two separate insulated copper wires that are twisted together. Okay, twisted pair cable always used in landline, phone networks and LANs. Okay, the second example of transmission media for wired is coaxial cable. Okay, do you want to see what this coaxial cable looks? Okay, look at it carefully. Okay, I will explain to you. On coaxial cable, data travel through a copper wire. As you can see, copper wire is a thin wire in the middle of the cable. Okay, CAT TV network using wiring, CAT network wiring often use coaxial cable because it can be cabled longer distance than twisted pair cable. Coaxial cable also connected to the computer to modem. Okay, the last example for transmission media is fiber optic cable. Okay, fiber optic cable. Okay, fiber optic cable consists of dozens or hundreds of thin strands of glass or plastic that use light to transmit data. So now, can you imagine how fast the data travels using fiber optic compared to the other two types? Okay, fiber optic is the fastest because it uses light to travel the data. Okay, now I want to ask you a question. Can you state 3 examples of physical transmission media that I just mentioned just now? Okay, I hope you can differentiate between 3 of them. Okay, we can conclude the differences between the 3 examples of wired transmission media are material used and where it is used. For example, twisted pair cables consist of twisted pair wires and often used in landline phones and LANs. So now I want you to list features for coaxial and fiber optic. Okay? Okay, now we will discuss wireless transmission media, the second type of transmission media. I am sure all of us always use the wireless transmission media because you are viewing me right now using application. Am I right? Okay, for wireless transmission media, we have 3 examples and there is broadcast radio, microwaves, and communication satellite. Okay, let's talk about the first one. Okay, broadcast radio. It distributes radio signals through the air over long distances, such as between cities, regions, and countries, and short distances also, such as office or home. Do you know Bluetooth and Wi-Fi use broadcast radio signals? Okay, cellular radio is a form of broadcast radio that is in wide use for mobile communications. So now you know what your smartphone use in what category of transmission media. Okay, the second example is microwaves. Sorry. The second is fixed wireless. Okay, fixed wireless is the operation of wireless communication devices or systems used to connect two fixed location, example from building to building or tower to building. Okay. So, and the last example is communication satellite. So, have you seen how the satellite looks? So, I hope you can Google it by yourself. Okay. Now, do you still remember? Can you state two categories of transmission media? Can you list down the features for each transmission media and example for each the transmission media? Okay, yes, very good, well done. Now I want to test you guys. What is the key point to differentiate between the examples of physical transmission media? I want to share with you some tips. Technology and communication devices used. So you need to identify the signal and what type of communication device used to build the network. Okay, so the next point is advantages of a network. So now I want you to imagine how life is without a network, or specifically the internet for 1 hour. Without internet for 1 hour, can you imagine? For one day, your life must be miserable, don't you? Because no WhatsApp, IG or Facebook. Now we will discuss the advantages of the network. Okay, the first advantages is facilitating communications. As I mentioned before, like internet, Facebook or Instagram. Okay, people communicate efficiently and easily via email, internet messaging, chat rooms, blogs, wikis, online social networks, video calls, online meetings, video conference, and etc. Okay, the second advantage is easy in sharing. If you can see from the notes, sharing is the most words this most words we will always use in the advantages of a network. First, sharing is easy to share hardware. Each computer or device on a network can be provided access to hardware to on the network. Easy in sharing data and information. So you can share data information with your friends by using access data and information stored on the network. Like we can share data in KMPK, College Matrikulasi Perak. Okay, easy in sharing software. Users connected to a network can you access the software on the network. So for me, these 3 points are easy to remember. Okay. And the last one is easy in transferring funds. This type of advantages we always use for such as in Maybank to you and CIMB clicks. Okay, let's discuss the disadvantages of networks. So I just state 5 here, but if you want to answer questions, you must write down the point and explain the point, not only the point. Okay, attacked by viruses, so you must explain how the virus attack. Okay, when computers are connected by a network, the virus can spread itself electronically at computer speeds. Okay, network failure. If the file server fails, then no one on the network can access any files or folders, means no sharing. Okay, the third one is slow service. As more users log onto the network and request files, okay, the network can start to slow down. The fourth, high cost. Of course, high cost. We need money, okay, to build up the network. Every workstation needs a network interface card to enable it to be connected to the network. Other hardware such as hubs, switches, and routers are often needed. And the last one, expert support required. Network need constant monitoring to ensure that the performance is maintained and that all the components are working properly. Okay, that is my last slide. So thank you for watching. Hope you understand and we'll do revision for more understanding. Back to my clip, Dr. Aizu.
Alright, thank you very much, Madam Doraini. Where is Madam Sarmila? Is she still on the line?
Missing in action.
Yes,
Madam
I'm
Sarmila,
here.
can you share my slide, please?
Oh, okay. All right, slide
Right.
Dr. Aizu.
Okay. There is one correction, a little bit of misconception of just now. So the word is not Cat V, but it's Cat 5. It's a type of wired. So I show you this is the Cat 5 wire used for internet connection. So it's not Cat TV, but Cat 5, right?
All right, cat 5. All right,
Cat
noted.
5, eh?
Thank you, Dr.
Noted, eh?
Aizu.
Okay.
Oh,
Noted.
Cat 5.
So hopefully, yes, Cat 5. So hopefully all of you understand what the three of us have teach you today. So if you have any question, you might ask your tutorial lecturers. You might ask your lecturers, or practical lecturer. Okay. If you ask me, it's better for you when you are in the practical classes. Go and see your lecturer and ask them to show you the devices available at the computer lab. Okay, you might have a tour to the IT room. Is it possible, Madam Mila and
Oh,
Madam
yeah,
Eni?
possible. Yeah,
Okay.
possible. Good suggestion,
Alright.
actually.
Okay. So last but not least, we left you with a few exercises you can check in your tutorial book under the topic chapter 2.1. Okay? Okay, I think it's all for today. So make sure you keep in touch with your lecturers, you keep in touch with your friends, keep in touch with the internet connection, especially to learn the computer science subject. Okay? Okay, Madam Mila, Madam Raini, is there any more?
Okay.
Okay, Madam Noaini first.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Aizu, for correcting me because I just know just now. I I know it just now. Okay. Hope all the students will do the revision. Okay, and if you don't understand, you can ask personal. You can see me personally or by via WhatsApp. Okay, thank you, Madam Mila and Dr. Aizu.
Okay, thank you. Madam Mila, to wrap up the topic
Okay, thank you,
before.
Madam Noaini and Dr. Aizu. Okay, so before we end live our lecture, so hopefully everyone can complete your tutorial exercise, especially for chapter 2.1, and make sure you discuss all the questions with your lecturers, either your lecturers or tutorial lecturers, and make sure you remark all the exercise in the tutorial book. It's very very important to prepare you for your final exam. So for me, that's all for today. So hopefully we can see again in our next lecture. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you Dr. Aizu and thank you Madam Noraini. Okay, bye.
Right, thank you very
Assalamualaikum.
much. Bye.
See you again.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.